Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. I am Zoe Apobeduadu. Coming up, Sports Minister Kofi Adam pledges infrastructure reforms as well as a boost of safety in stadiums as the country commemorates 24 years of the May 9 disaster.
As fans of various clubs and lovers of football, that whilst we chant and support our teams, we must not move these chants to the levels of what? Violence.
Also coming up, MCE confirmation process in Bole postponed indefinitely as some angry youth protest the nomination of Abdullahi Mahmood as MCE.
They don't want the police is working hard to contain the situation.
Still ahead, committee set up to probe Akosombo Dam spillage, faults NADMO and encroachers over the disaster.
We went to some of the school buildings where they moved these people. There were no toilet facilities, there was nothing there. They should have gone further to make sure that adequate preparation of some of these safe areas have been prepared.
And later, Tewu GH at KNUST condemns TEC for backing rival union in governing council representation dispute.
That we are a registered labor union. As a result of that, we can exercise our rights and powers under the law as per Section 88 of the Labor Act is saying.
The news is live across a number of our partner stations. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, we're on J Live 95.5 FM in Sunyani Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Volta region, Akbeni Radio 96.7 MHz in Kwanto, Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi, Northern region, Dasoma 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East, Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, Upper West, West Link 88.1 FM in Laura, and in the Northeast region, we're on Eagle FM 94.1 in Wali Wali. We're also live on YouTube, on Citi FM's YouTube page, as well as our Facebook and Twitter handles.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for your time this afternoon. Now, Chairman of the committee investigating the 2023 Akosombo Dam spillage, Engineer Isaac Kekofi, has identified encroachment on the downstream flood zone, poor communication and weak stakeholder coordination as key factors behind the extensive damage caused to affected communities. The committee was set up by President John Mahama to probe the spillage and make recommendations, including proposals for compensation. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Engineer Kofi noted that although previous spillages involved greater volumes of water, the recent one had a more severe impact.
The top findings about the flood zone, which, well, human nature, people are living in some of the flood zone, downstream and upstream. And going forward, we think that those areas should be protected. There should be an airline for the downstream area where you make sure the flood zone downstream, because having spilled now, we could spill again in the future. Nobody stays there. So when there's a spillage, human nature is not, the human beings in that those areas are not affected. Now, the other one was also to do, the major one was the dam itself. The decision to spill was taken to also safeguard the dam. And I must say, well, we noticed that the case, for me as an engineer too, I think elsewhere, dams have collapsed because certain things did not work well. Their gates could not open. But in this case, the plant operations were okay. The gates, they were able to open the gates, they were able to spill out the amount of water. Nevertheless, the amount of water they spilled is something that we can also talk about. So, and then of course, the spillage was as a result of more than expected inflow.
He also observed that the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, failed to adequately execute its emergency preparedness plan to mitigate the impact of the spillage.
I don't think they did very well in those areas, because looking at the fact that they also deal a proper drill, which I would commend them for. DRA, the stakeholder, they did a proper drill in May. But when they did the drill, they realized that should this happen, people will have to be moved into some safe areas. There should be some facilities there. I mean, we went to some of the school buildings where they moved these people. There were no toilet facilities, they were starting there. So having done the deal, which was proper, and I commend them for, is that gone further to make sure that adequate preparation of some of these safe evidence have been prepared. That one, there wasn't adequate preparations. Some logistics provisions have also been done. That wasn't done. But these are all some of the shortfalls we found out and put in our plans, and I also recommended us what to address going forward.
Engineer Isaac Kekofi is the chairman of the committee tasked to investigate the Akosombo Dam spillage. Now, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has reaffirmed government's commitment to improving safety at sports venues across the country. He made the pledge during a ceremony at the Accra Sports Stadium to commemorate 24 years since the May 9 disaster. Over 127 football fans lost their lives during a Ghana Premier League match between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko due to a stampede. Kofi Adams stressed that government remains resolute in preventing a recurrence of such a tragedy by prioritizing safety measures and infrastructure upgrades at all sporting facilities nationwide.
That is why it's a game that have rules, and rules must be followed in resolving every issue. In recent times, like the president of the GFA alluded to, some incidents have begun to show their ugly heads again. That should not comfort us. And as we gather here this morning to commemorate the May 9th incident in 2001, we must not only be commemorating the day, but we must be reminding ourselves as club owners, as technical team members, as fans of various clubs and lovers of football, that whilst we chant and support our teams, we must not move these chants to the levels of what? Violence.
That was the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams. Security analyst Emmanuel Kuting has expressed reservation about the Interior Minister's plan to recruit civilians who aid in the arrest of drug addicts into the security services. The Interior Minister, during a visit to Sabon Zongo in Accra, pled to enlist individuals who provide leads to security agencies, resulting in the arrest of illicit drug users. In an interview with Citi News, Emmanuel Kuting stated that while the move may appear beneficial on the surface, tackling illicit drug abuse requires a more holistic and strategic approach beyond recruitment.
I don't think it is a good move at all. One of the critical challenges bedeviling our security institutions has to do with our mode of recruitment. And unfortunately, policy makers and by extension, people in power of authority, that's the politicians in quote, they seem not to appreciate some of these challenges. I think that tackling the drug menace needs a very holistic and a nationalistic approach, not one that is focused politically. So to me at best, this is a political statement he's making to his constituents. I don't think by way of policy, such a suggestion have any place in our security architecture. I don't find it anywhere in the world.
That was security analyst Emmanuel Kutin. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that UK visas have been secured for Susie Adrapinamang and her two caregivers as she prepares for medical treatment in the United Kingdom. Susie, who suffered an accidental gunshot wound from a classmate, gained national attention after the Member of Parliament for Bantama, Francis Asenso-Boakye, brought her case to the attention of the Foreign Minister. Now, this development follows an appeal to the UK High Commissioner, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, who responded swiftly to the urgent request. Businessman Ibrahim Mahama has offered to fully fund her treatment abroad in a gesture that has been widely praised. The Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, commended the collaboration as a powerful display of unity and compassion and extended heartfelt wishes to Susie on her journey to recovery. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has issued a stern warning to DecoBuild operators at the Madina Lorries Park to immediately cease the collection of unauthorized tolls from commercial drivers. According to the union, DecoBuild has been operating a pay-as-you-go toll system in recent months, which has placed an undue financial burden on drivers. Unlike the standard one-time daily toll, drivers are now forced to pay multiple times in a single day. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the Industrial Relations Officer for GPRTU, Abbas Imoro, gave the La Nkwantanan Madina Municipal Assembly a one-week ultimatum to intervene and enforce proper toll regulations at the station.
We are pleading with the La Nkwantanan District Assembly, who are in authority over there, that we are giving them 1 week from today to make sure the pay-as-you-go system should be a thing of the past. If they are unable to stop the Deco Build company from the pay-as-you-go system, then of course we have no option than to make sure all our vehicles which load from La Nkwantanan District Assembly Lorry Park to other places, we are telling them to put 10% upward adjustment on all lorry fares to make sure we recover the lost.
That was the Industrial Relations Officer for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Imoro. Now to the Central Region now, where the Central North Regional Police Command has arrested 2 suspects in connection with the murder of Zinabu Tahiru at Chifopraso in the Central Region. The deceased was found dead in her room on April 3 with a cloth tied around her neck and blood stains on her hands. The suspects, Isaac Ahin and Richard Ama, were arrested on May 5 at Chifo Abuabu. The police say preliminary investigations established that Richard Ama, a mobile phone repairer residing in Chifo Abuabu, was arrested when he used the deceased mobile phone to call a friend of the deceased who reported the matter to the police. Upon interrogation, Richard Ama mentioned suspect Isaac Ahin as his accomplice and he was subsequently arrested. The mobile phone has since been retrieved and is in the custody of the police. The two were put before court and have been remanded into police custody to reappear on May 21. The U.S. Embassy has cautioned Ghanaians to desist from illegal visa processes and illegal immigration, stressing that these actions may attract visa refusals, revocation, and or deportation. The U.S. Embassy organized a consular media day today aimed at demystifying the visa process, highlighting visitor experience improvements and the visa policy confirmation process. Consular General at the Embassy, Elliot Fettig, indicated that the U.S. Embassy is committed to ensuring a seamless and stress-free travel experience for Ghanaians.
We continue to welcome visitors from Ghana who are interested in studying, investing, or doing business in the United States. Last year, the U.S. Embassy issued about 25,000 visas to Ghanaians to come to work, to study, or to visit in the United States. But to enter the United States, visa applicants and visa holders must follow our laws. The United States has zero tolerance for illegal immigration. Those who break the law, including students, may face visa refusals, revocation of their visa, or outright bans from entering the United States. We are committed to educating Ghanaians about the proper procedures so they can avoid any problems or complications.
That was the Consular General at the U.S. Embassy, Elliot Fettig. Some angry youth in Bole have staged a protest against the nomination of Abdullahi Mahmood as the municipal chief executive for the area. An earlier protest by the group led to the indefinite postponement of his confirmation. However, the Assembly has now rescheduled the confirmation for Monday, May 12, sparking fresh unrest. Speaking to Citi News, the Public Relations Officer of the Arise Bole Youth Group, Adam Abdullahi, clarified that today's protest was not sanctioned by leadership of the group.
As we speak, Association of the Youth is doing what is happening today. Leadership of the youth did not sanction any activities that is happening today. Association of the Youth take you to the platform themselves, come out, show their displeasure for the president nominee, Mr. Mahmoud Abdullahi, as the MCE for Bole District. We've written a petition to the presidency, copy it to the overlord of the Savannah region, and then the paramount chief, the MP, the regional minister, and the other stakeholders regarding the nominee that which happens to be Mr. Mahmoud Abdullahi. But upon all this, leadership has gone ahead to issue a date of to confirm the nominee, which today, as we speak, sections of the youth and the community is accusing the leadership of failing to, help solve the problem.
That was Public Relations Officer for the Arise Abole Youth Group, Adam Abdullahi. You are still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still to come, Tewu GH at KNUST condemns TUC for backing rival union in governing council representation row. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel One TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel One TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank and Legacy Crop Improvement Center.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You welcome back to the Citi Prime News. Now, the leadership of the KNUST local chapter of the Tertiary Education Workers Union has criticized the Trades Union Congress for backing the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC in the ongoing dispute over representation on public universities' governing councils. The KNUST Tewu GH chapter declared a strike last week after a Tewu TUC representative was sworn in as a member of the university's governing council. While the TUC has condemned the strike as illegal and reaffirmed its support for Tewu TUC, Tewu GH maintains that its action was justified. The group is calling on the TUC to step back from the matter, arguing that Tewu GH represents the majority of unionized staff at KNUST. Charles Arthur is chairman of Tewu GH at KNUST.
Our union is a registered union per Section 83 of the Labour Act. We have to register at the Registrar General's Department as a body corporate, which we have done. Then the Labour Chief Labour Officer has also issued us with registration certificate. So we want to place it on record that we are a registered Labour union. As a result of that, we can exercise our rights and powers under the law as per Section 88 of the Labour Act is saying. Again, we have also realized that the Secretary General of TUC has also come into play, and we want to appeal to him to exercise patience in the sense that he is the leader of organized labor in Ghana. Even though some people may not belong to Trade Union Congress, but once he is the leader of the organized labor, which comprises of all unions in Ghana, we think that when issues come like this, he should take his time, listen to both sides before he can make a statement. He making that a treasure statement, we think that it's uncalled for, and we want him to withdraw. If he wants to be part of what has happened, we are saying that he should know exactly what entails so that he can address it appropriately. Other than that, what he is doing or what he said, we think that is unnecessary.
Charles Arthur is the chairman of Tewu GH at KNUST. Nearly a century after it was built, the Takoradi Hospital, Second D Takoradi's main referral facility, still lacks an intensive care unit and operates without a modern emergency center, forcing doctors to battle life-threatening cases with outdated infrastructure and limited resources. Now, hospital authorities are making an urgent appeal to government. complete the Abandoned Accident and Emergency Center project, and help prevent avoidable deaths in Ghana's vital oil and gas enclave. Citi News' Western Regional Correspondent Akwesi Ejenim has more from Takrade.
Takrade Hospital, originally built in 1929 by the then colonial government under Sir Frederick Gordon Gaddisberg, was established to serve workers constructing the Takrade Harbour. The 96-year-old facility, popularly known as the European Hospital, now serves as the Metropolitan Hospital for Sekondi Takrade. Despite its elevated status, the hospital has seen very little expansion apart from a doctor's quarters built under President Mohammed's former administration. Medical Superintendent Dr. George Pipra says the aging infrastructure remains a major concern, though minor renovation and painting have helped maintain parts of the facility.
Takrade Hospital has been around for 96 years. I mean, the original purpose has changed. Now it's serving as the hospital for the metropolis. And the available beds that we have now, we're looking at expanding. And the building is old. The maintenance cost is very high. There are some cracks within the building that needs to be fixed. Most of our fittings, we keep changing them, but most of them are rotten. Let me put it that way. It needs rewiring because the wiring are old, and it definitely impact on our electricity consumption.
The roof you see is 1929 roof that were actually put on this building at the start or commencement of this very health facility, which was originally to serve those working on the Takrade Harbour construction. And as we speak, it is still in use. And I just want to find out from the health facility managers over here how serviceable this roof is to the hospital right now in their operation.
So the roof, because it's so old, it keeps leaking. I mean, if you look at it, you see a lot of white areas and patches. And these are all patches that we always try to do to prevent the leakages, especially at the joints where they meet. Usually the water, when it rains, it sifts through it and comes into the consulting rooms, the walls, and the various other units. And because it's so old, it's quite difficult to let even the patch stays, because you patch it in that same place some few months or years to come, you have to come back and then patch it again. So we believe changing the whole roof will actually serve us better, but the cost involved is very high. Like I said, we called DBS to give us some estimates, and it was very high.
Dr. Pipra added that the absence of an intensive care unit is leading to avoidable deaths, especially in cases requiring critical monitoring and care.
Another service that we wish we could offer is an ICU care. But the whole region, we don't have an intensive care unit. Last week, somebody called me and said that they have a patient, they want to bring him for ICU care. I told him, fortunately, in Western region, we don't have. The man was shocked. So I said, yeah, it's a service we don't have. If somebody needs it, the person will have to go to Cape Coast or Accra. The expertise is there. If the service is available, there is probably 80 or even sometimes 100% chance that this person could have survived. But because of the unavailability of the service, people just die, just like that. So the Mahama care, if it works as is being planned, will really save a lot of lives.
So typically, this is the only recovery room that this facility has, and a look around shows that it's only a 3-bed capacity recovery room, which the facility sees this as not enough and would need a bigger space to actually have more people take time to recover before they are even taken to the main ward where they can properly recover.
As you can see, it's very small. It's very small, and at the moment it's full. There are 3 patients here. When we were coming, the theater light was on, so it means they are doing a case. Once that is done, one patient has to be forced to the ward so that that patient too could be brought here. At the moment, we have just this monitor here. But ideally, every bed would have needed a monitor to monitor these patients. So these are some of the instruments that we spoke about that we would need. So we need a bigger space to begin with. We need more beds to make sure that we take care of these patients who've had surgeries and those with who would need high dependency care.
So I've actually moved to the main theatre, and here at the theatre, I'm told it has some issues that doctor would want to share with us. So I have the medical secretary to actually tell me exactly what are some of the issues that this very theatre has that must be actually addressed. No.
This is the only theatre that we have in our hospital, and we have a surgeon, we have a gynecologist, we have an ophthalmologist. Where we have another theater where we do our eye cases. So there is an eye theater. But when it comes to all other cases, this is the only theater that we have. We wish we could have like 2 more of such. Because sometimes the obstetrician is operating, he has an emergency, and the surgeon too has another case that he has to do. So they have their theater days that they come in to do the cases. But if 2 emergencies come, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes I'm called upon to deliberate which one we should do first.
What you see in the short is an emergency center which was never completed. I'm told it actually was started in somewhere around 2008, but never got completed. And for close to 16 years, it's still where it is. I have the medical secretary to tell me exactly how important this structure would have been in terms of, dealing with emergency cases over here.
The facility is old. It was built in 1929. So the repurposing of it to serve the metropolis requires that you need space. You need space. So it was just male and female ward. But now you need place for emergency, you need place for maternity, you need place for children, and other services that we are including into our service delivery. So if this building was completed, or if this building is completed for us, it will really help us.
There was a report filed by Citi News' Western Regional Correspondent Akwesi Eje Enim. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babing, has expressed optimism about Ghana's economic outlook following the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi. In a Facebook post, the Speaker described the cedi's rise as a major relief and a strong indication of economic recovery. He noted that the currency's improved performance against major international currencies will help restore investor confidence and position Ghana as a top destination for investment. Now, Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu has cautioned that the continued rejection of MMDC nominees poses a serious threat to development in local communities. Addressing journalists after the Adan East District Chief Executive nominee failed to garner the necessary 2/3 majority, she urged the need for better collaboration between nominees and assembly members.
If you delay the confirmation, you delay development. You delay progress. See, they've started a lot of recruitment. And so when you delay confirmation, perhaps if the DC is at post, he can lobby for some of the assembly members, to be employed. Like the DC is not at post, they'll pass it through either the coordinators, the district coordinators, or wherever it passes. And so we are pleading with the assembly members. I keep on saying this. If someone has offended you, find a way. If you think, because you are part of the shortlisted, and so you are working against the nominee so that you can be appointed, my dear, we'll be looking outside the box. I'm speaking with the nominee. We should go back, engage the assembly, whatever problems, they should iron their differences, and then we'll come back to conduct another election.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu. And that's how we end Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio in Atabraka. Log on to our website, citinewsroom.com, for more news. I am Zoe Abubeidu. Many thanks for listening.